Happy VA Wednesday. So today we're going to be talking about the VA appraisal process. This is a great video if you're thinking of buying a house with VA or if you're a real estate agent and you're trying to learn more about VA. So I'm going to walk you through the process real quick. Now, first of all, I actually got a text this morning, which is why I'm doing this video. The text said this: "Hey Jennifer, good morning. Can you get a local, all caps, appraisal? Will you be able to do that or no?" Okay, now this was for a purchase in Texas and I'm in California. So clearly the real estate agent was concerned that I may not have access to local appraisers. Okay, so first of all, no matter what type of loan that is, that's not accurate. But the magical thing about VA is that it's not the lenders who are actually selecting your appraiser. And I cannot stress that enough, guys, because what I'll hear sometimes is I'll hear, well, my agent wants me to use their local lender because their local lender can get the best appraiser. No, that's not the way it works with VA. So the way it works with VA is once the lender has a purchase contract, now this will vary based on lender. So the minute I get your purchase contract, I want to order the appraisal. And the reason I want to do that is because sometimes the appraisals can take a little bit of time. It can take time to process. It doesn't matter. I want it in as soon as possible because if you want to close early, if you're worried about the value, I want to take that question mark out of the deal ASAP, okay? Now, if you're working with me and have been for a while, we've already fully underwritten you. So really, this appraisal is key to the transaction. So I order the appraisal day one. Unless we're told, hey, can you hold off for some good reason, but it has to be a good reason because otherwise you really do put yourself at a disadvantage. Now, not every lender does this. Some lenders are gonna wait till they get a credit card from you, which I understand. I mean, we do order it and then we do ask for a credit card afterwards because we wanna make sure the appraiser is gonna get paid. But some people do hold up that order until you pay with the credit card. So you wanna make sure you're talking to your lender about, hey, when are you gonna order the appraisal? Because I've actually heard horror stories where the lender isn't even ordering the appraisal until the loan's fully pre-approved. Often I'll see this more with brokers where they're trying to figure out where they can put the loan. So they're kind of shopping it to different places. And then once they figure that out, they order the appraisal. In a market like this, you want the appraisal as soon as possible because the biggest issue we see is value. So we want to know if we're going to have a problem and if it's solvable before you spend a fortune on additional inspections, okay? So the appraisal has been ordered. Fantastic. Now, where do we order the appraisal? Well, we order it through the VA portal. So VA itself is involved in selecting the appraisal, assigning the appraiser, okay? Very important to note. Now, something I hear a lot of is like, I think real estate agents just don't get that VA is the one handling this appraisal process. The lender puts in the order, but then it's VA. So it doesn't matter where your lender is. Even if I was sitting next to you in the house you were buying, I'm not going to get a better appraiser because of location. The VA system is picking whoever is the best appraiser in their eyes for that area. Okay? Very important. Now, okay. The appraisal, let's say the appraisal comes back and there's no value issues. Fantastic. So with VA actually the appraisal is reviewed by an underwriter and the underwriter issues what's known as the notice of value. So the notice of value tells you, generally, I haven't seen any notice of values when they're lower than the appraisal. They generally match the appraisal perfectly. But if, for instance, the appraiser called out any items, like let's say, let's say half the house had peeling paint, okay? And it was a 1800 house, that's a problem. So if the appraiser calls out any repairs, it's on that notice of value that it's gonna be listed. Okay, so once you have the notice of value, cool deal. That means the underwriters reviewed the appraisal. If the value came in, fantastic, yay, okay? And of course, you guys get a copy of this appraisal. So whether you're VA or conventional or whatever else, you're always gonna get a copy of your appraisal. It is required on every loan transaction, regardless of who your lender is. So important for you guys to know, do we give a copy to the seller? No, you paid for it. It's your property. And I have to tell you, I don't even like giving them to real estate agents. I will always say to you, hey, like, I'm happy to send it to you. You can give it to your real estate agent. There is one exception to that. So Tidewater. Okay, what happens if the appraisal may not come in at value? And I've done other videos on what a tidewater is. It is definitely worth watching, especially if you're a real estate agent trying to learn more about VA, because a lot of people think tidewater's a dirty word. It's actually a really wonderful word, okay? Now, half of my business is VA, half of my business is conventional. So I have my hand in both worlds. I love the concept of tidewater. So with a conventional mortgage, if the appraisal is going to come in low, we just get a low appraisal. Then we have to fight it. With tidewater, what happens is if the VA appraiser thinks that it's going to come in low, they let us know. We tell the real estate agents, we say, hey, you know, it looks like it's going to come in low. Do you have anything to support the value? Now, a lot of times the agents or the buyers will say, well, how low? We don't know. Okay, so with a tidewater, they don't tell you where they're at. They just say, hey, looks like I have a problem. Can you provide me additional comparable sales? Okay, or additional information. So like, let's say for instance, the seller totally updated the whole house. I would list that out. I would list out every single update they did. You know, of course, comparable sales, are very powerful, but you know, an appraiser may miss that you put in new wood floors last year, or they may miss that the roof is only 3 years old. So I think it's very important to list all that stuff. You know, it's not a dollar for dollar trade, but it definitely can help the value of your house. Okay, so the real estate agents, they have, I usually tell them 24 hours. It can go a little bit longer than that, but I don't like stress. So they have 24 to 48 hours to get the comps back to us so we can get them to the appraiser. Fantastic. Okay, the appraiser has the comps. Now what? Okay, well, so the appraiser is supposed to look at what the realtors put together, and they either come in with a value or they come in with a lower value, but they're supposed to return the appraisal and address anything the realtors brought into consideration. So for instance, sometimes there may be a comparable sale that the appraiser missed. So in that case, right, they may come in at value now. Okay, now there's other cases where the comparable sales real estate agents will send to us make 0 cents. Like zero. Like you're buying in a neighborhood that maybe is up and coming perhaps, and they're sending us comparable sales from 5 miles away in a very established neighborhood. So sometimes we'll see stuff where we're like, this doesn't make sense. Like a 4,000 square foot house is not a comparable sale for a 2,000 square foot house. Okay, so just important to know, the appraiser is going to look at all this information and come back. Now, sometimes people are like, well, how long does it take? I generally see them come back within 2 days, maybe 4 at the worst. If it's over 4, we're following up, because what happens is appraisers can get really busy. I'm not seeing that as much this year. I did see a decent amount of it last year, and so we just follow up. Hey, just checking in, you know, we're eager to move forward, hoping you've had a chance to review the comparable sales. Cool. Okay, if the appraiser totally ghosts, then we can get VA involved. So it's important that your lender that you're working with knows this stuff, right? Because this is something most lenders don't even know. They don't know you can get VA involved if appraiser's ghosting you, but you 100% can. The thing about a VA loan that I cannot stress enough is VA wants to do these loans. They want the borrower to get the house. They want to do what's in the borrower's best interest. So whereas with conventional, when an appraiser's ghosting, we're like, hey, you know, the Appraisal Independence Act, there's no consequences. VA appraisals, there's consequences, you know, so you can get them involved. The lender can. Okay, so let's say the appraiser turns it back in and it's still low. The value's still low. Now what are your options? Well, it depends on what the appraiser comes back with, I think. So if the appraiser comes back and they're just being a stick in the mud, you know, because sometimes we'll see that. There's certain people that always have to be right. It doesn't matter what you say or do, they have to be right. If it's that type of person and we can see in the comparable sales that, hey, he's really just being a stick in the mud, he or she, we can go to VA with the borrower's permission. Okay, we can take it to VA and do a reconsideration of value. And the VA then, they have a collateral department that looks at all the comparable sales. You know, they don't have any emotion, and they'll come back with a value. Now, I have seen it where an appraiser would not raise that value, and we took it to VA and they did. The issue we had is the builder and the appraiser did not get along. So the builder was ragging on the appraiser was ragging on the builder. It's a no-win for anyone. And the beautiful thing about VA is they just look at the numbers, okay? So that's great. You can do a reconsideration of value. Now, have I sent stuff to VA for reconsideration of value and it hasn't been increased? Yeah, I have. In those cases, it's generally stuff where we're being forced by the real estate agent to send it on forward. You know, we're saying, but we can try. I mean, look, we always want to try. And VA is looking at it going, this doesn't make sense, okay? So the cool thing about this is you've got, you know, multiple shots at getting this appraisal right, whereas with conventional, you don't really have that. So I hope this video has been helpful and explained everything to you. You know, if the appraisal comes in low and we go through the Tidewater and all of that, then once the final appraisal's in, we do the notice of value again. So that part's still there. Overall, the VA appraisal process, I have to tell you, like, and this sounds so crazy, 2020 and 2021 were the hardest years of my career because of the volume. And we were having so many issues with conventional appraisers because they had so much volume, they didn't know what to do. I think without VA, like VA borrowers especially, I love you guys, my whole team, like you guys are just so nice to us, you get your stuff done, but also the VA appraisal process, it's so superior to conventional because there's actual consequences. So I think often VA appraisers get a bad rap when really there's nothing bad about them. Do you once in a while get a stick in the mud? Yeah, totally. But you get that with conventional too. I mean, we know that in any profession, there's good and bad. And the thing I like about VA is they're really on the borrower's side. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. I am licensed in 48 states. I would love to help you with your VA loan or answer any questions. If you guys book a time on my calendar, you'll speak with Alyssa when you're fully approved. I go through everything with you, but you know, we do really appreciate you guys. So thanks for watching.